3, 2, and 1. Hey, everybody. It is TexAgs Rewind here on a Monday presented by T-Mobile. They want you to visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to learn how you get more value and coverage through T-Mobile. I almost forgot who was sponsored by because I've got so many different shows in my head. It's all about recruiting. It's all about greatness. And on the show, we had OB. We did 22 and 22. Number 20, Chase Lane, got a lot of props. Billy talked about it. OB talked about it. Alex Donno broke down the University of Miami. He admits that it's going to be a big wake-up call when they take on that A&M defense, but it'll be fun to watch as that plays out. Tom Hart going to play golf, but also talked about some Wi-Fi and his thoughts entering the A&M first day of practice, which will be on Wednesday. They do report tomorrow. Billy for an hour. We talked about recruiting. It was a big weekend. It's TexAgs Rewind. The real story. Recruiting this weekend. Guess who's back? The Aggies are back, my friend. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. What was it? Three commitments over the weekend?
Yep. 2 22s and a 23.
Yeah, and there's it seems like there's some others trending.
Yep.
A&M's way, maybe even in a big way. We might, who knows, maybe we'll get some more news this week. But yeah, a guy like Brady Quinn, who's supposed to be an expert analyst of college football, is saying, "Oh, Nick Saban was telling the truth. That I've never seen any team fall so far." Like, he sounds like the guy that goes eat Mexican food and, gets full on chips and then can't eat, because they don't understand the meal hadn't even gotten there yet.
You mean like everybody? Ever?
Well, not necessarily. Not everybody.
But a lot of people love to have them.
I do too. But I always make sure I ration myself because I know the big meal is actually coming.
That's right.
And Brady was like, "Oh, I'm all on the Nick Saban have his back, and he's right, and all this, and look at this fall." And you're like, it's still July. You understand these people aren't going to start signing until December, right? Do you understand how it works?
Well, it's kind of like, I'm going to use this terrible example. Remember when the Texans were up 24-0 on the Chiefs?
I remember that.
I remember that too. And I remember telling everybody in the office, "Oh, no, the Chiefs are going to be back in this game in a moment." And that's exactly what happened. I'm not saying that the Aggies were down 24-0 by any stretch. It was a slower start than we expected, but it was the first quarter. It was freaking July, early July, late June. And now if you look at the studs that they have signed and you look at the total stars and the grade, we're like in the top 2.
Yeah, just based on quality and not quantity. They signed the, Brady Quinn, Nick Saban's right, look at all this. And then they get an offensive lineman who's the top, 70 guy?
Yep.
And then they get the best linebacker in the country, number 1 rated linebacker in the country, who I know has to be their number 1 target, in Anthony Hill.
Yep.
And then the kid from Shiner, who's another top 70 player. So since Brady Quinn, and it was actually LeVar Arrington too, since both of those guys showed their ignorance of how college football recruiting rankings work, I'm not going to say recruiting works because they were obviously recruited.
Yeah.
But they obviously don't know how the recruiting rankings work.
Or how the recruiting cycle works.
And A&M is now 40. They've gone from 60-something to 42 in a weekend. And, gosh, if you just look at so many teams ahead of them, if they would just sign nobody or just average guys, for now they're going to jump into the top 20.
Well, the feeling was that Texas was signing the greatest recruiting class ever the last month or so, right? And they're doing a very nice job. I'm not taking a very nice job. But again, a lot of those guys, did A&M want some of those guys? Absolutely. But by the way, that's how it works. You get some, you lose some, but you get the guys that you want. And I know that their number 1 priority was Anthony Hill, and they got him. And that was evident last year, especially with Harold Perkins, which I think ended up being a good thing for us, deciding to go to LSU. This is the exact guy they wanted.
Well, they got him on the line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got to get him in the boat.
Yep.
But to get him in the boat first, you got to get him on the line. And so, you know what? To get him in the boat, once you got him on the line, it takes have you ever lost a fish before you got in the boat?
Of course.
Yeah, it takes a very skilled fisher to get it in the boat.
And we've got a fisher.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah,
we do. I have a lot of confidence that they'll get them in the boat.
No, yeah, look, I have confidence in Jimbo. So does that mean 12th class in the country, number 4 in the country? I don't know what that means. I just know he's going to get the players that he needs in positions of priority. And by the way, that defense over the last 2 years, if you look at guys, again, they have to finish the deal. But if the guys who they have right now end up signing, that defense is going to be so sick. Like, we're talking Georgia-esque, what we saw last year.
Could be. And, you know, I know you know this, but one of the main recruiting sites for what this is worth has A&M as they've all but given the top defensive lineman in the country to A&M.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. That's what I say.
Just come on.
Let's keep it going.
And, you know, there's an offensive lineman out there. There's a quarterback out there. There's some receivers, DBs we're hearing a lot of things about. It's going to be very interesting August.
Something tells me that Tom Hart back in, 2003, whenever that song came out, I don't even know, maybe it was 99, was bobbing his head and singing it with his buddies there at Mizzou. Tom Hart on the BCSI Hotline. Good morning, sir.
I mean, what a great performance in 8 Mile, when he had that bounce back and got to the boy that he went to private school and he won Raised in the Hood. I mean, one of the all-time great musical movie performances, Eminem's freestyle in 8 Mile.
Oh, dude, Rabbit. It was Rabbit, right? That was his name?
That's right, Rabbit.
Tom, can you place the members of the SEC The Weekend crew in 8 Mile? Who's who? That is a fantastic question. Who was the guy that he beat is a famous actor, because I just looked him up the other day. The guy that he had the rap off with. I don't have it in front of me. I can't think of the guy's name. Anthony Mackie.
Yeah,
but Marvel.
Avenger.
Yeah. Yes, he's an Avenger now. So I think Anthony Mackie, and I don't remember his character's name, that would be Cole.
Papa Doc.
And here's why. Like, that's him, Papa Doc. Like, Cole portends this gruff exterior, like, I'm so hard, right? Like, if you ride a Peloton, you're not hard. Like that would be my rap answer to Cole.
That man went to private school.
You're not hard when you're on a bike that doesn't move. Yeah, so Cole likes to be like, look at this, I'm this tough offensive lineman. No, he probably uses facial moisturizer, and he rides a Peloton. He ain't tough.
We're talking to Tom Hart here on the BCSI Hotline. All right, Tom, before we get into some football, what is going on with the Wi-Fi at your house? Because I saw this, and I looked through the comments, and apparently this happens to others as well.
Well, let me give you just a hair of background. Like, when we were all home forever during the pandemic, I had all these issues with Zoom calls, and usually with coaches. And I'm trying to think of all the coaches. I mean, Gus Malzahn made fun of me. Like, all these SEC coaches are just ripping me because my Zoom would always freeze or drop out, and we couldn't figure it out. It took almost like half a year to realize that when you're on the Wi-Fi and someone uses the microwave, and with 3 kids and a wife and a full house, that happens, it kicks you off the Wi-Fi. And I finally got tired of it yesterday, and I was like, I got to put this out there. And it's not uncommon. Apparently they run on the same frequency. I guess I need a new microwave because, good luck getting new Wi-Fi.
Dude, I don't know if I've experienced that. I do experience the whole, like, if the kids are playing a game upstairs and I don't know about it, like, everything sucks. Like, I can't send emails. I can't check Twitter. Like, but I have that. But it's usually at the end of the day, not ever, because of the microwave. But I'm going to have to test it out. Maybe I didn't know.
What do you use the microwave for, David? Because you're not eating, like, Orville Redenbacher popcorn like I am with a giant Coke at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, there's a couple of different diets we have going. There's me and Dalton, and then there's yours. There's not a whole lot that you're putting in your body that comes out after getting nuked.
Oatmeal in the morning. Every morning I have oatmeal with my eggs, no doubt. So that's done in the microwave because I got to do it in a minute. Let's go.
A little bit of a few raisins, some of nature's candy, or no?
No, I do blueberries.
No raisins.
I do about 70 grams of blueberries.
Oh, that's good. 70 grams. The people that I know that measure stuff in grams are not health freaks, so this is really interesting.
And man, the Canes, not only were they dominating sports radio, which had been a while since I'd seen that, they were the talk at La Carreta. All these restaurants, people were talking about Miami being back. Give us a little sense of the vibe out there.
Well, a big part of the reason why the vibe is so hot is who they hired at head coach, of course, in Mario Cristobal, because not only does he have the Miami history, having played at the U in the 80s and 90s, and he had a previous stint as an assistant coach, but he's a community guy. Columbus High School down in Miami. He's a local. He's kept a lot of his connections down in South Florida. So it's one of those things. And Cristobal, his personality comes through in his recruiting, of course, because he's very, very active in that. But it's like anyone who's ever met the guy, it's like you're an old friend. Like he keeps in touch with everybody. People who knew him 20 years ago are personal friends of his today. So that has a lot to do with the vibe. And, Miami's getting very solid results on the recruiting trail recently for the class of 2023, the types of results Miami hasn't been getting for a long time because, the standards had been lowered a little bit from a recruiting standpoint in recent years. I'm saying that to put it politely. And then the other part of the hype that comes in is, the University of Miami, from the administration down to boosters, have actually started to invest in the program again financially, because really living off of that 2001 national championship, which has been 21 years now to this point, I think they had kind of decided we don't need to spend money with the likes of the big boys like the Alabamas and Texas A&Ms and what Clemson's been doing recently. And as a result of that, they fell behind. So now they're investing in the program. The reports have it that have come out over the last couple of months. They want to put another $100 million plus into improving the practice facilities. So that's the sort of alignment that they now have from the athletic director on down to the football coaches.
Yeah, I'm trying to add anything to this. So I don't know what, because I've talked it into the ground, and I heard you and Olin this morning, and I agree with a lot of what you said. And Olin already... I don't want to do these, David, and just repeat what you guys say early. So sometimes if I'm going to keep it short, it's not like because there's not a lot to say, but I literally have said 16,000 times that I think Chase is a guy that people don't appreciate what he brings to the table, and Jimbo does. And I think I go all the way back to after that Florida game, and there was a lot of frustration in Bright because Caleb Chapman had emerged as an outside threat. He went down, and unfortunately that was a theme for him, was injuries. But it forced part of the equation too that was frustrating is it forced Chase outside, and Ananias couldn't do as much running back because Chase had to go outside. And then so it changed so much. It kind of had that little formula, and Chase Lane was a big part of that formula. And for as good as Caleb was in that game, Chase had a touchdown to start the game to answer that 17-18 play drive by Florida. And then he had that massive catch. And Olin said it kept them from kicking a really long field goal. I don't even remember how long that field goal was, or if it would have been a punt, or if it would have been a 55-yarder. I don't remember. But whatever it was essentially quite possibly a game-winning catch. Because, yeah, if they'd have missed a long field goal, Kyle Trask and Pitts and Kadarius Toney, they probably needed about 3 plays to get in field goal range and win that thing. So that one, Mississippi State, the guy pick 6. A&M's dominating that game. Pick 6. Oh, my God, we're dominating the game. We're in the second half. It's 14-7. Well, not for long. Chase catches a pass, outruns the entire Mississippi State defense, good defense, to the end zone. He mentioned the catch against Auburn. Game, the fourth quarter drive where A&M had to get a touchdown. It was a big third down catch for a first down.
All right, we're about to do another show, so we got to get out of studio. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all that. It's TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. Bye.